We got two big pools up there. I
Dude,
just finished a spa for the Josh Kane is a
uh-huh.
home developer up there, and
Cane development?
he's got a model home, and we did a spa connected to the home that has a glass wall. We're having a lot of fun with that, and then that got us an open door to the Benoits, which is a project just down the road, and we're having a lot of fun with that project.
What's the Benoits?
It's just a residential client that the
Okay.
Canes are building their house,
Oh, I
and they
see.
reached out to us to build the pool, and he gave me full creative ability on it, so I'm having a lot of fun.
Dude,
I really am having a lot of fun on that one. We're gonna do a 65-foot commercial water slide. Like you walk out their bedroom on their porch, and the water slide's right there. Wraps around the whole project, comes into the pool, and then we got. I'm kind of making it my signature now in these spas. I went a little overkill probably with this spa, but it's gonna be so sweet. They're like, "Hey, we want to get 10 people in the spa." I'm like, "No problem." I had a 12 by 12 spa, raised it up above the pool. It has a waterfall that spills over all the time into the swimming pool,
uh-huh.
and I made it like a jump rock. So slide comes in, you can jump into the pool, and then I put a glass wall because the spa is raised. When you're on the main patio decking and the lights are on at night in the spa, that glass wall illuminates uh, throughout the whole patio, and it's gonna be really sweet. I'm really really excited.
Dude,
I'm polishing the glass right now. We're gonna make it super shiny.
that is awesome. I really want to get up there and see that because that
It'd be
sounds
fun. We'll have to
crazy.
go. Let me get the decking stuff. I just got my decking, just got my coping, just got my tile, my outside huge retaining walls. I had them, but the client was right. Client's always right. Uh, I had brown walls made, ready to go, and they wanted them to be precast in white concrete to match
Mm,
the house.
mm.
So they're like 2 foot by 4 foot walls. Same wall we're doing at Ruby Falls on another project. I was like, this is gonna look great up here. So I had those, and they're like, "No, can we make it white?" And I called the manufacturer. His name is Will. He's a really cool guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll uh, we'll totally make that for you." So he's making it all white. That comes in next week. So
So did they get to take the original ones and just cast them
yeah,
or
same form, same
okay.
everything. They're just gonna clean everything really really well for about 3 days,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna add white concrete to the trucks and the mix that they make. They're gonna basically put dye in there, make it all white, really white concrete, and then they're gonna cast the same block. So instead of it having like a earthy tone in the browns and grays they add in there, they're just gonna do a white tone, so the wall comes out
It's gonna look like
matches the white.
Greece,
Yeah,
Santorini.
yeah, that's the
Sick.
goal. It's gonna look sweet. I'm
That is
excited.
awesome. Does it have a view too?
Dude, I was standing up there. We were digging out the footing, and I look over, and it's got a beautiful view of the Tennessee River. And one of those, like, it had to have been like one of those Viking cruises or something came through there. I mean, it was like the coolest ship boat thing I've ever seen in my life.
On the Tennessee River?
Something like that, dude. I don't know what it was.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'm just like making it up in my head and over exaggerate, making it like super dramatic, being dramatic. But it was the coolest boat I think I've ever seen in my life, and they just have, like, crazy stuff go right through there. You're just looking right down at the river,
That is dope.
so it's super cool.
I've got some clients right now, and we've been trying to find riverfront property for them. They really want to be on the water, but there's just not much inventory right now.
Yeah.
And so we've seen like virtually everything on the Tennessee River and everything within like, I don't know, 10 miles, 15 miles of Chattanooga, like on Harrison Bay. There's just not much out there right now. I feel like those communities like Jasper Highlands, River Gorge Ranch, or what's the one that they're doing upriver, Riverton Farms?
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
That one.
I've
So I
heard about it, but I have not seen it.
I drove by there. You can't really go in because it's like or at least I couldn't. My car would definitely get stuck in there. But it's like, dude, it is sick. Those houses in there. I think Kane Development's actually putting one in there.
I bet. Dude, they're all over. He's killing it.
Their houses are sick
They're
too.
sweet. They're all high-end, custom,
Hmm.
and they really like, from what I can tell, the owner, from my experience, he really cares on detail, and he
Yeah.
does a really good job, trust me. We got a couple things on the spa that, uh, maybe some overlap. I was getting a little maybe too crazy with the design and stuff, and he's on it. Like, he does not miss a beat, and it's gotta be top of the top.
How long has he been in the business?
I'm not too sure. I just started working
Okay.
with him the last 2 years. We did a project over at his house. We fixed a project over for him, in, like, the Ooltewah Club.
Okay.
They have a house in there,
Yeah.
and, I fixed something over there, did a project for him, and then he's like, "Hey, let's go put this up here in River Gorge." I was like, Sounds great to me.
I think they just built a spec home over in Hamptons on the Lake.
Oh, probably.
It's like I'm pretty sure it was them. Hopefully, I'm not confusing my builders, but it was like a $2.5 million spec home. Huge,
I believe it.
gorgeous. I mean, you walk in like 20-foot ceilings.
I believe it. Every project I've been to with the Canes is like jaw dropping.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome. So
yeah.
I like being able to do a couple projects with them. It's been really fun.
Well, we've been rolling for a minute here, but let's do a little bit of introduction. So for people that don't know, Bryce is kind of like this serial entrepreneur. He's involved in like 50 different things. Can you kind of give me a breakdown of the Rocky Top empire and what it's looking at like right now?
Yeah, so we have Rocky Top's kind of like my brand. I'm kind of sticking to it. We've got our excavation company, which came first. We do civil and residential construction, mostly like roads, water lines, sewer lines, stormwater, and foundations. And then we have Rocky Top Pools, which is primarily a pool service company. We
Okay,
have about right now in off season, we have 67 commercial and a small mix of residential pools that we service on a weekly basis. And then during the summer, we usually get up to about 85 contracts, clients per week that we're taking care of. And then we've done remodels on that on the Rocky Top pool side. And then the last 2 years, we've gotten into builds. Got a really awesome build team. But like I said, we're primarily a service company. We focus on that. And then we kind of nitpick the projects I get to be creative. I do it more as like building the pools. I kind of treat it as not a hobby. It's obviously a job, but if we're going to go in and build a pool, uh, I I get like a lot of people say, "Hey, we got like 15 jobs to go look at different pools." And we usually pick like 3 for the year and just like focus on that. We're just
gotcha.
doing quality where we get to be creative and kind of put a light on that. That's what it comes with the builds.
Yeah,
And then we just started Rocky Top Homes. So that's kind of the trifecta right now. We got Rocky Top Excavation, Rocky Top Pools, Rocky Top Homes. Homes, we got 2 houses in East Ridge and a couple other houses on the way. We're getting into home building. I got a team over there. So the goal is to make sure that they all feed off of each other. We'll have some stuff coming down the line. I'd like to get eventually, like when we get enough homes going, I'd probably like to get Rocky Top Realtree, like just do realtor stuff and sell our own product. But at the moment, we're sticking with those three, get those firm and move forward.
and then weddings is in there
Okay.
somehow too.
Yeah, we do have Rocky Top Productions. It does all of our filming. It kind of gives a backbone because I'm a young entrepreneur and I figured early on the best way to get credibility was film what I do, show clients. When I go out there and give them an estimate, I'll send them to my webpage or my Instagram and show them, hey, we're capable of doing this project, even though I'm 22, 20 years old, now 26, just turned 26 like last week or like a week ago,
Wait, when's your birthday?
January 10th.
Dude, January 12th.
Oh,
That
nice.
is crazy.
That is
That is
awesome.
awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah. So for me, credibility is a huge thing, and so we opened up Rocky Top Productions. I kind of forgot about that. It just lingers there. But with that, my dad is super into sound and audio equipment, so we just linked them together. So we do weddings, different events. We've had fight night in for with Southern, kind of crazy events over there, doing some wild stuff with that. Uh, but yeah, Rocky Top Productions is also a company. It kind of just films the pool company, the excavation company, and the homes, keeping it all kind of tied in. So we do have some pretty awesome sound and lighting equipment. We got a couple weddings on the schedule coming up here in the spring. So it's kind of like a side thing, but it's really fun. I have a
Yeah.
lot of fun with that too.
It's fun to have the equipment, right?
Yes,
Like that's one of the best things about being in media is just having the equipment, getting to play with it, and then when something cool comes up, you've got everything to go do it, right?
it's so awesome. We got people say, "Hey, we got UFC fights this weekend," but when you come watch UFC fights over with like a Rocky Top group, we got 40-foot screens and speakers, and we're like pulling out all the wedding equipment and really throwing a fun party. So you're right. It's really fun having the stuff so you have the capabilities to put on fun events.
Take me back a little bit to when you first got started. If I'm not mistaken, you started in college, right? You
Mhm.
went to college for what, like a year, 6 months?
I went to for like a year and a half.
Okay.
My goal, this sounds bad, but my parents, they're like, hey, we'll fund whatever you want to do, whether it's a doctor, these things. Let's get into college. Um, I want to do business. I've been reading business books my whole life. My dad's brought me up in the kind of that realm. He's a salesman, car salesman, and we've just done a lot of business training and kind of working on mindsets. So college, my whole goal was to convince my parents to let me drop out of college. I had great grades, all the right stuff, but my whole time I was in business school, made no sense to me, wasn't clicking. I'm like, my teachers here, I can't have connective conversations. It just doesn't like they don't have what I want. And
Mm,
my dad from an early age is like, take advice from people who have what you want. And I just didn't feel like it was the right environment for me. So I didn't have a good enough business plan to convince my dad to let me drop out and go do something else for a while there. So we were a year and a half in. I was about to finish my 2 year, like I guess it's like a 2 year degree or whatever it is for
like a
just the
associate's
yeah.
business degree.
And
Yeah.
so that's when they had a program with John Deere for like 0% down, 2% interest on the financing, but I had to have someone that had credit. So I went to my dad. I wrote a whole business plan on how I could make the payments, how I could get marketing, get my own clients, start bringing them in instead of using rental equipment and different stuff. I could just purchase this equipment and kind of go for it. So my dad put up the credit. He had a third of my company for a 5 year plan, and actually 2025 we just paid everything off in November on that first set of loans. So I own Rocky Top all outright. I have 100% of Rocky Top Excavation, Rocky Top Pools, and Rocky Top Homes. I'm free on that
Let's
aspect of
go.
things. It's been awesome, so it's been a cool ride. um, but that's how we kind of got it rolling. I kind of jumped in. I was in uh, college for business. I was also getting my real estate license, and I was on the gymnastics team at Southern, working with Coach Schwartz. I kind of went over to Coach Schwartz, and I wasn't a Southern student, but I was like, I really love what you're doing with this team. This team is an amazing team. I gotta be a part of this. I gotta be a part of this culture, this group. And I kind of jumped in with Coach Schwartz, took me under his wing, and I got to join the team there for 2 years and travel with them and have an amazing experience building really good connections. That's what got me into the pool company as well. I met one of my best friends on that team, and his family did nothing but pools. And so I've got excavation going on over here. And like I said, I'm more of like a businessman, and I look for businesses that I believe are scalable and that can kind of tie in with each other. And so then I kind of formulated this plan. I'm like, okay, we'll do excavation. And then I met a friend in college. We started the pool company. We had a guy in Chattanooga. He was actually he got 2 knees replaced. He's like David DeHaan with Heartland Pools. He's like one of the best in Chattanooga. He's amazing. And I just done all this research on pools. I went down to Florida with my friend's family and really studied the business and the model. Came back. We offered him a price for his pool company. We bought that out, and we took it from 37 pools at the time, and now we're up to like 87 commercial contracts. So it's been a really fun ride on that aspect of things. But that's how we got that ball rolling. But the craziest part of that was balancing college, real estate license, trying to figure out what you want to do, trying to convince the parents here, hey, we got some good ideas. Let's drop the school aspect of things, just focus on the gym team and running these businesses. So it was pretty crazy there for a little while.
So what was that moment when they finally were like, okay, Bryce, we blessed this, drop out?
It was a rush. I had I had my team, we got the equipment, we dove into pretty much dropped out. Like I still had like 3 months left, just dropped out, didn't show up, said I'm done. Like I said, I was going to Chat State, so it wasn't too hard.
Okay.
And so
You didn't go to Southern at all then.
no,
You went straight to Chat State.
went straight to Chat State,
Okay.
didn't spend any money at Southern, joined the gym team, so I hung out with everybody at Southern,
Gotcha.
got the same stuff, went in there. My biggest concern with school was if I'm going to do this, I want to do communication. I want to know how to basically have a conversation and get my point across,
Yeah.
and then be able to talk in front of groups of people and that kind of a thing. And I feel like sales is a fundamental aspect of everybody's life, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I went in straight, did all my sales classes, all my communication classes, and then I felt like I had nothing left. I was like, why am I
Mm,
still here? I'm like, I've done everything, and these classes are kind of crummy. I like more the Grant Cardone or different seminar stuff. I like doing those kind of things rather than the college. I was like, this is kind of
yeah.
wasting my time. So then it was really exciting at that time when I got to drop out and go all in. It was just diving straight into the business. And it is anyone who's started their own journey, getting credibility and getting people to trust you doing, high end jobs around their homes or foundations for their houses and
Yeah.
septic systems right out the gate at 19 years old is really tough. So
I bet.
like I said, this is where early on it flipped a switch. It's like, okay, if I can get jobs for really low prices just to get experience and credibility, it's gonna be really valuable. That's when I got the camera out and started filming everything we were doing, almost doing jobs for almost nothing, just making sure it's paying for my fuel, and then getting in there and making sure that I could film it and then present it to the next client, and kind of grew from there. That's how
Mm.
it all branched off. That was kind of my business model. So let's get in here, and then it wasn't really working out for like the first 2 months. It was like really difficult to get clients, a lot harder than I kind of had expected. And then once we busted that camera out, it kind of helped.
So were you posting on social with that content, or what were you doing with the content?
I was really, really picky.
Okay.
I am really closed off. I want to make sure I have a good product. I want to make sure I present myself well. I didn't put an Instagram page together for 2 years. I was just filming projects and then when client and taking really good pictures of projects that we had done so that when I sent my estimate, I could send a portfolio over of previous projects. That's
Mm.
all I focused on for the first 2 years. I didn't feel like, which looking back, it probably would have been cool to get an Instagram up a little bit sooner and these different things, but I was really picky. I wanted to make sure that my product was worthy, and I felt like at the beginning, it was just education,
Yeah.
and that's really what it was. Anyone who's starting a business, those first 2 years, if you're making money, that's great, but you're really just paying for your education in that field.
Yeah.
That's really what it was, is really learning the excavation, and I'm really good at taking tests. So, I went and got every license I possibly could. I went and got my septic license, I got my erosion control license, I got it in Georgia and in Tennessee, and then, when the pools came along that fell in my lap, I actually had a management system set up, and I had people over there. I That didn't really work out as I planned it to work. People don't, uh, I guess, employees and different things, if not set up with the right incentives out the gate, they don't have the same desire to make something work as you do.
Yeah.
I took that for granted.
Yeah.
That was a really big learning curve I had to come across. So I got the excavation company kind of on its feet for a minute. When we took on the pools. We took over those 37 contracts, like I said, and then almost immediately, like 4 months in, I almost lost almost all my contracts because they were trying to go to Heartland Pools, calling him, he's not answering. He goes, "No, it's
Mm.
Rocky Top now." They're like, "What?" They're really
Mm.
confused, and we lost a lot of contracts. So I had to basically hand the excavation company over to Eli and my other partners and be like, "Look, I got you guys contracts for the next 6 months. Lock it down. I gotta go learn these pools like I've never learned them before." I went and got my CPO license, so I got certified in the nation basically to do chemistry and water. I got my uh, insurance is all up to date. Then dove in. I actually hired David DeHaan back on
Uh-huh.
as I told him, dude, I'm gonna pay you. You're gonna ride in the truck, and I'm gonna make sure I know everything that you know because I'm gonna dive into this company. Like I said, I try to take these things as a businessman standpoint and be like, you know, I'll give you what you need to do the job. And it did not work that way.
Mm.
It's really hard in my experience to lead without
Yeah.
being able to go in and do it yourself. It's really hard to tell somebody, hey, go muck out that storm structure if you're not willing to go muck out that storm structure. So
Yeah.
I feel like for me, when it comes to being a leader, I needed to jump down in the trenches and learn all that. So I was cleaning pools for a long time, cleaning pools, repairing pools, building pump rooms, doing sand changes, uh, all that stuff. I jumped into there really heavy, got the accounts back. Actually, one account that stands out to me is Holiday Inn. Um, I found out we had a logging system, and the way I had it set up when my guys went to the pool. You go in there, you do your log, it times you while you're there, you take photos of the pool, you submit it, goes to the client, goes to the office, and gives you a green check mark. Then my guys can move on. My old system, I didn't know, but you could upload photos. So the hotel saw that there was this flamingo floaty in the pool on every single photo. So then they went back to their cameras and they're like, Rocky Top Pools is not here. I had an employee that wasn't going to pools but was logging. So
Oh man.
it was so brutal. I got invited into the hotel by the owner or manager,
Uh-huh.
uh, and he's a really cool guy. I At the time, I was really nervous. I kinda knew what was going on. He's like, "We're gonna look at this together." He brought me in. He basically brought me in just to professionally fire me
Uh-huh.
and just say, "Hey, we actually really like you, Bryce, but this is what's going on that you don't we wanna let you know so you can fix your business. I don't want you to lose more business, but we're gonna have to let you guys go. We got another pool company coming in. I just wanna show you this." And he wanted to respectfully, in a educational way, let me go, and that was a really, really important meeting. I went in there, and I owned up to all of it, had a great conversation with him, and I was able to basically flip the conversation. I gave him back all of his previous credit that he got billed. I gave him, like, 2 months free to show him how the business would change, and then coming out of that meeting, having that conversation with him, we ended up hitting off so well. He actually after that initial first 4 weeks, he didn't even make it to the 8 weeks. He renewed his contract for another year and gave us $32,000 worth of renovations around his pool.
Wow.
So he, from basically coming in to get fired, flipped the script and trusted me so much to give me $32,000 worth of renovations, which at the time was like a really, really big land for us because we
Yeah.
just lost so many accounts
It was a
because
lifeline, right?
it was huge. So learning to get through those different aspects of the business and have those communication skills and being able to come into a room where people can trust you and make sure that you live up to your word. And we immediately changed our system to where you cannot upload photos if you're not there to take a photo.
You
You
can't
can't.
upload the photo.
It does not work that way. So that was a huge learning curve and shift in my business, and
Yeah.
so that was
So
a big moment.
with the excavation company, how did you get clients to begin with? Like, what was your primary lead source in the very beginning?
So this is awesome, and I still use it. I don't use it as much today, but I absolutely love um, Angie Leads.
Okay.
I like Angie Leads because you basically can go on there. They give you a list of clients in your area. You can take down your service size. You send them your licenses for what they do. They give you a list of like 100 people that are in the area looking for work, and you can purchase the leads for like $30 or $40. So it's low cost. You don't have to blast your social media or your web page, all these things. Um, you can basically just go in there, and as long as you get the lead, you go set up a meeting, and you get face to face. I had a pretty good close rate. At the beginning, I didn't have a great close rate, but it got better and better learning through that process. So that's pretty much what my business plan was. I was like, look, when I went to my dad, I was like, if you sign as a credit for this, the way I can make these payments is I have these leads right now. I've already talked to 7 of these people. They want me to do 3 septics, 2 land clearing jobs, and a foundation before we ever got rolling. So then he's like, if we got this lined up, we'll get the equipment. Got the equipment, knew my monthly payment, got the jobs, dove straight into it. So that's how I pretty much hit the ground running. And I still use it from time to time. I don't have to as much anymore. I have a lot of natural leads,
More word of mouth. Yeah.
a lot of that. But I still use it from time to time because that's how I got a couple of these homes in East Ridge. Actually, they just lined me up to come look. They're coming from out of town to do some land clearing, and the best thing with land clearing is, so why are you clearing this land?
Mm,
And that's how you get into almost all my conversations. I get most of my stuff from land clearing and septic because it's like, okay, well, why are you putting a septic in? Why are you putting this in? Did you know that Rocky Top can do the water line, the driveway, the foundation, the land clearing, the erosion control, and we can get everything permitted through the state, and now we do the whole house. So we've been landing a lot of jobs that way. People are just coming in wanting to clear land, getting ready for a build, but they don't have a builder locked down.
mm.
So we're already in the door. We already won their trust over with clearing the land. We give them a really good deal on that, and then they really trust us, and then we go into negotiations on building these houses. It's been a huge lifeline for us on the excavation. Excavation is a huge component of kind of teeing up the rest of the line.
Mm, mhm.
So,
How would you say in your mind excavation and the pools connect? Like, what's the crossover there?
so for me, anytime we do a remodel, a build, the pool company hires the excavation company to dig it out, form
Mm,
it up, do the concrete work, do the rebar, and then the pool company gains a service from that client, and then my pool team comes in for tile, copings, concrete, plaster. But when you do deckings, patios, all these things that are connected around a pool, that's my excavation company. So the pool company hires the excavation company and lines up almost 30% of the build is all through the excavation company because it's all concrete decking, footings, all these things that we're already really, really good at.
that makes a lot of sense. So I want to backtrack a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but in the beginning you hired quite a few of your friends, or you brought a lot of friends on.
Yes.
And so that was like kind of the same thing that I did when I first started doing media. I
Mhm.
tried to work with all my friends. sometimes it went really well. I'm still friends with a lot of those people, but the business side of it didn't necessarily work, especially when people like found out finances. They weren't necessarily looking at like what it actually costs to run everything. They were looking at like the big number and being like, why don't I get big number? Did you ever have any sort of conflict or anything around that?
Yes, I had a lot of conflict about a year and a half in on both companies. I've had a lot of growth in this and a lot of reflection looking back on this. And starting off with friends, I initially didn't want to have an excavation company or a pool company. I wanted to be a business manager and make sure that the financial ends of everything that I'd been training, I felt like my whole life at the time for communication, sales, booking, everything that I wanted to do, I felt like that was going to be my role in kind of keeping out of the thing. I kind of brought on some of my best friends to dive into the company at the beginning because it's what they were good at. Um, and my reflection on this now, at the end of being through all this, is they're very good people. They're still really good friends. They really did take care of me and they set me up because I did not have the education to do the things I needed to do. But coming through on that initial front end, there is a ton of expense. There's a lot of things they don't see. So conflict is going to arise when the money starts throwing in different directions and they don't have the same aspirations as you do on the way that you want to grow the business. And I have a dream and a vision and I'm very precise on the way I want to directly move my business. And so for me with my friends, we don't move on I thought we were moving on the same wheel, on the same tone, but I didn't take into I didn't think about their dreams and aspirations too. I
Mm,
thought that Rocky Top would be enough kind of a thing, and, um, splitting with them in the early stage was a huge blessing, kinda moving away from that friend aspect. It had so much conflict to where I was looking at pretty much my best friends and absolutely not wanting to do anything with them on the weekends, not wanting a part of them. We are spend every single day together. I wanna do this, they wanna do that. It's just too much conflict. It's like almost being in business with family.
yeah.
At that
Yeah.
I mean, I consider the 2 guys I started the pool company and the excavation company, I consider them brothers. I consider them brothers. Um, but starting that out, it was really, really tough, and I think looking back on it, I learned a ton from I'll just shout out Jeremiah Angel. He really, really set me up, taught me how to communicate with clients, how to land deals. He was like the front man for those first year and a half, getting me on my feet. When it came down to a couple contracts and the way Jeremiah flows, I just had like expectations for what Jeremiah should be doing, which I put a box around him that I probably shouldn't have put. So that's where kind of conflicts arise is you have these expectations and they're like, look, I'm my
Yeah.
own being.
Yeah.
So coming out and saving our relationship, we had a huge conversations being like, look, I think that business is kinda taking us away. I don't even wanna hang out with you on the weekend. I don't even see you, you know what I mean? We work together every single day. I hate your guts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, getting kinda out the gate and being, "Look, I'm gonna do my thing. I got you where you're at in Rocky Top. We're grateful. Have a handshake. Love you. Move on," was huge for me, in both relationships because 'cause I'm really ambitious. I like to work 100-hour weeks and really build. I put all the money back into the business. I look at 10-year growth and, when you got friends that are we're all trying to start our lives in our 20s.
Yeah.
It's difficult. You're taking all the money out of the business and you've got this dream, but it's like, dude, pay me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this is where conflicts and stuff arise. And I was really grateful to be out of those situations at an early stage before losing kind of equities in the company because we had like 5-year returns whenever the equipments and stuff were paid off. Equities would get dealed out. I think that would have just arose so much conflict in our relationship. I love him more as a brother than a business partner. I think that, and he's killing it on his end of the side too now. Now we can come together and do group projects. So it works out better in the end, but friends and family, you gotta really have stuff written down. You gotta have written down. You gotta say, these are what I expect from you. This is what they expect from me. And make sure that you're having weekly conversations. The more time you don't communicate through that, that silence f- feels like nothing's wrong, but
Mm.
that silence will kill it.
Like the problems compound under
Yes,
silence, right?
100%. So
Yeah.
that's a huge growth for me these last couple of years is both the guys I started the companies with, very good people. our brains don't work the same. And
Yeah.
so getting that to where I could kind of run Rocky Top in the direction that I want to run Rocky Top was crucial for me.
I felt fortunate to learn like, okay, maybe working with friends is tougher, harder than most people would think.
Yeah.
So,
No, I 100% agree. Some of those conflicts out the gate when it comes to contracts that the company has to live up to, you got to hit them. You got to
yeah.
hit certain goals. If there's parameters in place in a contract, they have to get done. And I think looking back on it, I got really frustrated over a couple contracts, but I think part of that, looking back on it, probably from a leader aspect, probably could have been dealt a lot differently. I could have delegated a little bit better. I probably could have gave Jeremiah what he needed to do to accomplish the goals that were set in place. So his shortcomings, I feel like, are also my shortcomings, and I might have had my attention split between trying to save my pool company than really supporting him.
Mm,
And I just can't forget that if it wasn't for Jeremiah, those first 2 years, there would literally be no Rocky Top excavation. So at the end of the day, I think we left in a good place on that. We're still brothers,
yeah.
um, and that's really important. Uh, you know, having those friendships and just remembering, look, all these things get in the middle, get in the way. But if you cut back before this happened, I love you. You know what I mean? And just kind of fall back on that. That's been huge for me. That growth's come kind of recently because in the moment when you're going through it and you're losing contracts and you're just like, this guy,
Mm,
you get real frustrated. But looking back on it, as a leader, I don't like to place myself as a victim in any mentality. So if something happened to Rocky Top or happened to the business, at the helm, if I put myself in that helm position, it was my fault. You know what I mean? There's really no, you could argue this and that all day, but Bryce Kaufman and Rocky Top, we don't like to take that victim stance. So if something failed or a contract was not held up to a Rocky Top standard and we lost a client over it, I take that as my fault.
I think same if like looking back on all those things. I'm just glad that I'm glad that it happened when I was younger and like on smaller stuff is what I'm happy with because I think it set me up well
100%.
going forward. And it sounds like it's the same way for you. So that's awesome.
It's a lot easier to mess up a $40,000 contract than $1 million contract.
Yeah,
Agreed.
or a multi-million dollar business,
Yes,
you know.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. You got the stakes are higher now, for
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah.
all those steps, like I said, you're losing money doing all those things. You got to write it up as you paid for your education.
Yeah.
Instead of a 4 year degree in getting my doctorate or whatever you want to call it, I got a 4 year degree in excavation.
Yeah. Well, it's paying down your ignorance debt, you know.
Yes, love that.
Yeah. That's I stole that from Alex Hermosi, big fan of him.
That's awesome.
If you had to distill down some of the things that Bryce now at 26 knows that Bryce at 19 didn't know, like some of the big core principles, is there anything that comes to mind?
Yes. If I could go back and know what I know now, I would focus a lot more, even though my focus was on sales and communication. I did not take it seriously enough. Being able to walk into a room and make sure that the things you say you can actually accomplish. So, being true to your word, making sure that you can back up the things you're saying, you're not kind of just flying on a whim, and then being able to communicate your point across, really diving into knowing exactly what you're talking about on those aspects. And then you don't always have to own every aspect. You can rent.
Mm,
You can rent. You can get contracts, do your math on your contracts to pay for your rentals, even if you own your equipment. I kept thinking I could do driveways and different things for $4,000 because I don't have to pay a rental bill because I own my equipment. That's not the way you need to set your contracts up. You need to respect yourself and respect the fact that you own your equipment. You should be making money. You need to go and price your jobs with your rental equipment, everything that it takes, fuel and all these things. I just was kind of flying on a whim and doing what you got to do to land contracts at a young age. Uh, but those very important. You don't have to own everything. You can rent and take care of clients in that aspect.
yeah,
So for me,
it's probably the
that's kind of
biggest
looking
thing.
back. That for the excavation side, on the pool side, I would I would have hired David DeHaan a lot sooner. Just get some knowledge in there. You don't know what you're talking about. Make sure that if you're going to have a company that's held to the highest standard in Chattanooga and you're really trying to take over that number one spot for pool service, make sure you know what you're talking about. Get
Mm,
educated, bring on a professional as fast as you can in those aspects. I would have saved myself a lot of pain if I would have brought on either hired a manager, hired a person that just a mentor, having mentors in place that have your back. The biggest aspect for me in the excavation, why I was able to grow the way that we did, I was not afraid to fail ever because in my back pocket, I knew we had Mr. Angel. I worked for Mr. Angel my whole life. He does multi million dollar contracts on an excavation scale that you can't even fathom. They spend 3 days working on one pipe that has to be shot with a laser to the absolute most precise precision and never cut a corner in his life. I swear, this guy is amazing. I knew that whatever bind I got myself in, on an excavation aspect of things, I could call Billy Frank, say, Billy, what do I need to do? And I had that backbone. So I could really charge into these big projects, these big contracts and not be afraid because I could have these conversations with a mentor
mm.
in place that would guide me through all my, ambitions and make sure that keep the train on the tracks. Uh, Pool company, that would be David DeHaan for me. I just brought him in a little too late. I would have saved myself a lot of pain having that aspect to where you can dive into any pool project you want to dive into. Because if you have a question or you mess something up, you can fix it. It's not that big a deal. You can fix it. But at the time, I couldn't because I didn't know what I was doing. We were messing stuff up and we're not to a high standard. You want to make sure when you're diving into an industry, you want to be a high standard. You want to be trying to take that number one spot and have that ambition. And you got to make sure you have the cards to back it up.
Mm.
So for me, that's a huge deal. Get your mentors in place. Make sure you have an escape plan for whatever you mess up, and move forward.
I think that's been a big part of my approach over the past couple of years is like, working with Wendy, working with all these people that I do. I mean, I learned so much even just by working here with Jamie, the guy that owns this place. It's like there's not really a dollar amount that you can put on getting to sit in rooms with those people and watch how they do deals. People that have been in the business for 20, 30, 40 years and just getting to see that up close. I think it's super invaluable. So feel really
100%.
blessed for it.
Yeah, 100%. You could attest to when you get in that room with those high caliber people and you watch how they move, it makes your problems look so small. Like
Yeah.
you're walking through and you're trying to figure out how to make your budget match on a $30,000. You're just doing a site prep for a house. You got $30,000 of site prep, get the utilities in, get the foundation in, you're out. You're struggling messing with this problem. Well, you go to someone like Billy who's doing site prep for a Walmart and they tell you to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
They can shoot you right real straight. It's like, well, come look at this. And
Yep.
uh,
Yeah.
being in that room is huge.
Okay. So we've looked back quite a bit. Let's look forward. Where do you want to go with Rocky Top? Tell me a bit about the vision and where things are heading.
Yes, so I, for the last 5 years, have been lining my direction, stars, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that Rocky Top is basically self-supported. I want to basically, I've got my licenses now in residential, industrial, and commercial construction. I've got my bond set at 2.6 million. I'm going to try to go at the end of 2026. I'm going to try to up my bond to an unlimited bond so that I can take on project myself. Right now, because we're capped, I'm primarily a subcontractor for different contractors in town, whether it's JC Curtis, integrated construction, different construction companies that are doing big things. They can do the whole building from start to finish, and they bring Rocky Top, and we get handed a contract for the civil package.
Mm.
I want to be the contractor for the entire package. So if we're coming into, we just did the travel station in Dayton. Really good project. Came in, did the retaining walls, the civil, went out. I could have done that entire project, but I don't have a couple of cards in place. So I got steel, getting steel guy. I just met a couple this last week, actually at the barber shop. It was awesome. You meet some cool people, talking to the right people. Um, Getting steel put in place, getting my concrete team lined up, and I have all my subs lined up on my Rocky Top homes. I've been working on my index list of people to call for the last 5 years. I have amazing people along the way that I've met that can do fantastic things. So I've got my team built. I'm trying to make sure that my company on a financial state can make sure we can take on these contracts entirely. So we'll have Rocky Top Construction and start taking over the entire gas station, the entire um, renovation from start to finish on a commercial aspect. And Eli on my excavation team, he'll kind of head managing those different projects for me. That's the direction I want to take that. And then Rocky Top Homes, we're gonna start gently climbing into more and more houses. I've got Gary Smalt. He's my manager. He's been building homes for I think 35 years, and I hired him in at a commission based at a percentage that we agree on per house, and he is basically the contractor. I have all the licenses, I have all the contacts. He's got a lot of contacts too. We come in, we lay down the house, we talk with the client, and he's there on a day-to-day basis. I come in and fix big problems. He runs the day-to-day, making sure that the electrician, the plumber, the foundation guy, everybody's all talking. He's working with Eli on our team and making sure that the wheel runs, so I don't have to be everywhere at the same time. I want to take that and scale it. Everything for me is about scale and making sure that my foundation is set. I think that we've done a good job the last 5 years making sure we have that foundation set, and that's the direction I want to go. I want to push this into commercial construction. Rocky Top works for Rocky Top. I'm kind of done being a sub. Love it. Love doing civil packages. I'll take any civil package I can get. But if Rocky Top owned the whole project, we'd have a lot more control and it'd be a lot better. And then on the home side of things, I think that building homes for ourselves, doing spec, opening up that Rocky Top Homes instead of working for private people that are looking to build a house, doing custom builds, kind of moving into the spec home range and working with investors. Um, I would like to make sure that I'm funding that correctly. We'll probably do 5 homes this year ourselves with our own um, clients that we've met along the way that want to fund some projects. They really like what we're doing here in Chattanooga, and we've got a really good return basis for our investors. We go in, get lots. We got a couple lots in Cleveland we're looking at. Got a couple lots in Dayton that we're looking at. I think that's the direction we want to go because if I get the home set up, that feeds my residential side of my excavation company. That feeds my framers. That feeds everybody. So the goal for Rocky Top is making sure that we're self-sufficient in 2026. We're not reliant on some of these other contractors to hand us a civil package that we're bidding for. We want to just bid the entire job,
Mm,
keep a percentage of the entire overall construction. We still do the civil package, but we see it all the way through. Right now, we're getting to concrete poured and piecing out. I'd like
yeah.
to just see it all the way through. We've done enough learning. I've done enough projects. We actually had an opportunity in Hickson where we did a huge um, storage facility, but we worked out a deal because the contractor's from Colorado and he was trying to get his licenses recognized in Tennessee. He actually couldn't do it. So he asked me if we could be the head contractor for the entire build for this storage unit. And so I got to basically, I said yes. We worked out a deal where I didn't make hardly any commission on the deal at all. But that was not my goal. I just said, look, you guys can use my license. We'll do the civil package like we were going to do, even if you pulled all the permits. But I want to walk with you guys on every stage of this. I want to walk through the steel guys. I want to walk with the framers. I want to walk with the paint, everything, all the way through finish, the electricians. So I got to sit in and see how that runs.
Mm.
And so I've been really focusing on my education as we've been talking about, making sure I know how it runs. I know how it runs. I want to get our contracts to where Rocky Top works for Rocky Top.
So is the main component of being able to do that the getting your bond raised, or not necessarily?
Getting being a really young company, um, the financials you got to have an unlimited bond and have these different bondings is pretty difficult. You got to basically show them $350,000 sitting. If you want like a $3 million bond, you have to show them basically $350,000 sitting in a savings account you don't touch,
Mm.
and it's difficult. And then getting because I'm investing things back into the company, running around
Yeah.
like crazy. You don't want to do that.
Paying your
Nobody,
people. I mean,
yeah, nobody
equipment.
nobody
Yeah.
wants to put $350,000 just sit in an account.
Yeah.
So trying to get these different bonds, they want to make sure that when an insurance company comes and you're going to do $1 million project, you have to have a bond on that project to protect that project
Mm.
because most of them are state jobs. And so when they allocate those funds to go do that project, that project has to get done for what you quoted it for. So if you
Mm.
quoted it for 1,000,000, you messed it up and you really needed 1.5, you signed it for 1,000,000 and your bonding company has to cover the $500,000 you screwed up.
Ah,
And getting a 25-year-old or 24-year-old, this last couple of years I've been trying to get it, is really difficult because they're trusting a 25-year-old to jump into a $2 million project for a gas station and making sure you're not gonna pay somebody wrong or make a mistake, and then they have to front a 300,000, 400,000, or granted $2 million job. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They
Yeah.
want to make sure that you have the status. So that's why we've really focused this last year on our airport job we just finished in Dalton, the gas station we finished in Dayton, this Ruby Falls project here in Chattanooga. We're filming everything. So I've had lunches with these insurance agents, and you sit down and you go through your phone and show them everything you've done. I showed them that huge storage facility we built side by side. It was actually under my license, which really, really helped me out. I didn't even think about it at the time. I was just like, yeah, this is great. This is a great opportunity. I'm going to get a civil contract out of this, but they can use my contractor's license. I get to work with their head guy on how they build these buildings. This is like a win-win. It was way more than that for me. That entire $2 million project went under Rocky Top. And now I have that when I go to an insurance agent and say, look, we built this project for $2 million. Our bond was no problem because they partnered with us on the
Mm.
bond.
Mhm.
So for me, we're just gaining ammo to
Yeah.
go back to the insurance agent, say, please, we
Yeah.
want to do this $3 million project. We can do it. I have the ability. And so credibility and Rocky Top Productions comes in clutch on that.
So what are they do you know what the insurance agents are assessing when they set your bond? Like what aside from the 350K cash or whatever cash reserve that has to
Yeah,
be?
and that varies,
Yeah.
but they're making sure that you can do it, making sure that you pay your vendors. So they're going to talk to all your vendors that you do business with, which Bradley Tank and Pipe, Consolidated Pipe and Supply, different suppliers in Chattanooga. Make sure that you take care of your people. Make sure that you're paying your taxes, and you're not going to go out of business. They're making sure that your business is able to do it. For me, my biggest arguing point is, look, we're a young company. We have a lot of ambition. Um, and for me, if we screw one of these up, it's a nail in the coffin. The company's dead like that. It's a huge risk
Yeah.
for us.
It's live or die.
Exactly. So for me, it makes sense, but for them, I see it. It makes sense. You got a 25-year-old running a $3 million project. You want to make sure that they can finish that project. Um, what they don't see is what I try to bring in is all of our contractors that we work with. They've been doing this a lot longer than me, so I can pull in some of them too. But really, it's just really up to that insurance agent. That bonding process is brutal. And then when we go for this unlimited bond, which I'm praying we get in 2027, you have to have a full audit of everything.
Mm.
Your financials get audited. They go and interview your employees, everything. So we got to run a real tight ship in 2026 if we're gonna try to go for that unlimited bond. You can also there's ways around it. You can partner with different contractors that have unlimited bonds. Like we've been doing that on some different things for some of the projects that we have now. We've had really good experiences with that. We have good partners. But like I said, the goal for 2027 is Rocky Top works for Rocky Top.
Mm.
Um, so really just hope that that insurance agent sees this.
So this is the year. This is the
Yes.
year. Lock in for this year. This is it. I feel like this has been something I've been telling people, builders specifically. If you could build, this is the house that would sell unlimited times in Chattanooga right now. 3-car garage, master on the main, and one guest room, limited to about 3,000 square feet. If you built that house, it doesn't even matter if there's like,
What price would you put on that?
if you could build it sub 800, you could sell it all day. And then if you had finishes that went past like, 350, or sorry, finishes that were like higher end, you could sell it in up to 1.4, I think.
That's literally my whole business plan right now. I'm going into my these meetings coming up here in March. We're gonna
Uh,
break ground on 5 homes, and my whole business plan is literally 2,800 to 3,100 square foot house. My loan from the bank is 500,000. Our sell point is 650, depending on the lot.
yeah.
650 to 715.
Okay.
And I'm not greedy. I just get in, get out, and make my money on my civil, the build percentages, everything for me in that aspect as a builder. um, I can I can make that happen. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
that's exactly what my plan is.
I think the 3-car garage is a huge thing because you have people from like the Midwest or the North that are moving here. Like if you think about the relos that are coming here,
Mhm.
they're used to living places with snow and where you have a 3-car garage and where people actually use their garage.
Yeah.
In Chattanooga, for some reason, like people that are from here, it's a storage unit.
You do not believe in that here.
Yeah, the garage is not where you park. But for people relocating to the area, that 3-car garage is like a huge deal, especially your retirees and empty nesters. And that's the side of the market, like in that price point, 650 to 800 or like 800 to, 2 million. That price point is mostly empty nesters and retirees that have money from out of state and they want to come somewhere else. So that's been my experience at least.
That's great to hear. That's what we love to hear.
You don't have a
Be
lot of those move up buyers anymore because they locked in a rate at what 2 point, they're paying $0 a month for their house and
literally.
know
Literally.
man. So anyways, those people aren't really moving up. If they can stay in their house, they're staying there. So you don't have a lot of that like, people 35, 40 years old moving up. It's mostly like your reloads. That's what I've been seeing at least. So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Well, that's good. That feeds my point. I'm really trying to push these. I want to get, I think that's the next thing. I don't know exactly how to do it. I've flirted with the idea of having a funding company, like getting with a couple people and putting a fund together that has dividends that pay out monthly and getting investors in and start really backing that with Rocky Top Homes.
Like an REIT type thing.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like flirting with that idea. Just because I got some really good people that want to put some money into homes, get just a constant return. You know, they're older. They're not as ambitious as someone young like me is, but they have the money. So it's like the two of
Yeah.
us together make a deadly couple. So I'm kind of flirting with the idea of getting my ducks in a row, making sure I have a really good product that makes good returns. And as long as that goes well, I probably will in the coming years do like a Rocky Top fund that we can kind of have investors pool in and do payouts and do big projects. Because for me, I really, really, yes, I want to do the homes, but I want to do commercial buildings. I think that commercial buildings for businesses here in Chattanooga is a market that I want to get into, and then owning those buildings and leasing them out for different businesses that are all coming here. I just feel like Chattanooga's growing at a good rate. Putting up some commercial buildings would be good to have in the portfolio.
Tell me about like where you see Chattanooga going.
For me, I'm thinking that it's gonna have to start diving into the Saudi pool a little bit. We're getting a little full in the Ottawa range, and people are holding on to too much land. It's getting a little crazy over in that range. So I think they're gonna have to go towards Saudi, and I'm really curious to see what happens with Cleveland,
Yeah.
because Cleveland was like one of the fastest growing cities in America for like 2 years, like 6 years ago, and it was doing really really good things. And it's right here close to Chattanooga because you got River Gorge Ranch, Jasper Highlands, these really awesome communities. They're coming up still like a 25-30 minute drive into Chattanooga.
Yeah.
But certain places in Cleveland are also a 30-minute drive into Chattanooga, but you have all this land. So it's gonna, at the rate that we're getting jobs here and things are growing and this in the city's really exciting, it's gonna have to grow somewhere because we're running out of spots in some of the development areas that we want to do. Because some of these developers they need these bigger plots of land to do what they want to do to it, and you're kind of running out of those areas. So it's either gonna go towards Saudi a little bit, or dipping kind of into that Cleveland pool.
Yeah.
They gotta fix the way that we get to and from.
Yeah. Cause that, I made a video about this recently, but like when you go over White Oak Mountain there,
The worst.
that has an F grade from the Tennessee Department of Transportation for congestion. It's like literally the lowest grade they
Really,
assign
I believe
to
it.
that. And it's just because of all the freight
Don't
traffic
get
coming
stuck
through.
there.
Yeah, literally, it's so bad.
I'm worried. I'm actually worried now that we do a lot of work at River Gorge Ranch.
Uh,
River Gorge Ranch is beautiful, and you're like, it seems really far away, but if you're in downtown Chattanooga, I'm
it's
there in
not.
like 19 minutes.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
yeah,
But I've had a couple bad wrecks, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're
yeah,
stuck. You're stuck for an hour and a half just getting from River Gorge Ranch to Chattanooga. I've had to go all the way into Alabama to get around. That
really.
2 lane road is kind of like going to White Oak Mountain. It's like the same. It just gets, sometimes if it's hit just right, feeding everything into Chattanooga. It's like no one knows where to go.
Because do you go on 24 there?
I believe so.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so there's one road. I actually just found out about this road. You can get over to Guild on this road, which is, where
okay,
River Gorge Ranch is. You go on the other side of the river, but like Actually, in your truck, it would be sick. I was whipping around it trying to get to a showing on time from Ottawa. And first of all, the road is terrible. But like, second of all, you're right on the river on parts of this. Like, I was worried that like if I was going a little faster, perfect place to slip off into the
Oh,
river. I
dang.
mean, it's like right there.
That's just a Tennessee road in general.
Yeah. Yeah. But this was, I mean, it was sick. In your truck, you could probably go pretty quick through there. For me in the Tesla, I was like, I don't want to mess anything up.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
yeah,
That's interesting. I'll have to look into it because I'm always getting stuck trying to go over there.
I don't think the maps would even show it. Like it was the sketchiest road I've been
Oh,
on
really?
around here.
I'll have to
But
hit you up and say, hey, send me that secret passage.
yeah, dude, I'll text you the listing, and you could just put that as your midway point, and then it
There
would
we go.
probably take you the rest of the way. Tell me about being a girl dad. How's that been going?
Awesome. I mean, my wife is absolutely phenomenal. She takes care of that's pretty much her full-time job. She takes care of Ozzy, our little one. Um, but for me, it's just like it's like a different level of peace. It's like what I've always wanted. I've just wanted this family. I want to have 6 kids, as many as that Caden will give me. Um, and for me, it's just this calming, peaceful atmosphere. Same thing that my wife's always given me, just times two. It's
Mm,
for me, I come home and she has the cutest smile ever. She's getting to talk. She's running around the house. It's wild. It's the most um coolest atmosphere to be a part of. Just when you come into that home, and Caden's really good to me and she takes care of Ozzy really well. So I get to kind of just reap the benefits. Sometimes I feel bad. I work like crazy hours. So I come home, I get to have a lot of fun. And on the weekends, I hang out with Ozzy. I'll let Caden sleep in. So I'll get up in the morning and play with her in the mornings, let Caden get a little bit of rest because Ozzy does not sleep through the night very well. But I would not trade any of those moments for anything in the entire world. It's the thing I'm the most proud and happy about in my
mm,
entire life. Number one, would trade all Rocky Top for it. So for me, being a girl dad specifically, no stress. I just get to have fun and spoil her and just she's hilarious. So
yeah,
just getting to enjoy it.
dude, that is awesome.
If there was a
That's
boy, it might be a little bit more stressful. Just be like, hey, you need to, you're just turned 1, but you need to make sure you're talking to your mom nice. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know, whatever comes with it. But for a girl, it's just fun.
Make sure he's reading his business book,
Yeah,
starting to lock
exactly.
in. Got to get him in.
Start
Yeah.
doing push-ups.
Yeah. That is awesome. Yeah, I feel like so me got a girl, she's a little bit younger than Bryce's kid, but just like it was the craziest experience having a kid.
100%.
And then it just somehow just keeps getting better. Like I'll come home from work and Gracie's right there. I pick her up. I could spend an hour just hanging out with her. Okay, so two more questions. Do you have any big trips coming up this winter?
So this winter, we've got we got the UFC fights this weekend in Vegas.
Are you flying out?
Yeah, flying
Let's
out.
go.
I don't know how to explain. Maybe the communication and skills to sell what I want to do really bad is when Kate and I decided to have Ozzy. We're really young, business is going crazy, school's all this. We're Caden's working, paying for my entire life because I'm reinvesting everything into my business. She paid for us to live, rent. I mean, she did everything. She provided everything for me and then just made sure she was very clear. Hey, when we decide to have a kid, I'm home. That's my job. I'm like 100% fair trade. Shake on it. Let's go. Um, but the biggest thing for us when having a kid, we just believe that everything we do in our lives, if we had a kid, it wouldn't slow us down. It would just be more joyful and be able to do these things. So this is a real test because we got some UFC fights this weekend, and we want to go to the Sphere and watch like the Wizard of Oz and go to have a little bit of fun. And I think that bringing Ozzy on that and just laying back and not having crazy expectations, but just going to enjoy and see scenery and hang out, it's gonna be really fun. So that's one trip, and then possibly some ski stuff up in March, but nothing crazy.
Nice. Where are you gonna go ski?
Not sure yet. I'm
Yeah.
really locking in on Canada.
Okay.
It's top of my bucket list. I want to
Let's
go to
go.
Whistler really bad. My brother's teasing me on it, and I'm like, it's done. It's over. I think it's happening. So we're getting that put together right now. So we probably hit up Whistler this year and do some snowboarding. That's like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Snowboarding, surfing, extreme sports. It's I love it more than
Dude,
anything in the world.
you're leaving town on the wrong weekend.
Oh,
Do you
really?
see it might snow this weekend?
That's what they said. I just got 3 texts because whenever it
Bro.
snows, we pull that winch out,
Uh-huh.
you've seen,
Yeah, yeah.
and, we build kickers in front of Southern,
Dude, they're
do
saying
fun
it should
stuff.
be like 6 to 18 inches.
It always happens to me, man. That's so crazy.
This could be the best snow in years.
Oh,
People are calling it like a once in a lifetime
no.
snow opportunity here. So
Dude,
I
uh,
hope it's
my
not that
phone's gonna
good.
blow up. Where's the ramp? We build Rocky Top on snow days. We build mega ramps, and I always try to abuse the Southern sign. Whatever I can do in front of that Southern sign, doing a flip, doing a back, whatever we can do, I try to do it right there. We've got the ponds flood. I'll put rails in that little
Yeah.
creek,
Uh-huh.
and we'll do backflips there. So,
Off the winch with the wakeboards and
yeah,
stuff.
I
That's
like
so
to hook it up
funny.
to the back of the truck, and it's like a Subaru engine hooked up to 1,000 feet of cable. We just rip in.
That is awesome. All right, Bryce, where can people find you?
So we have Rocky Top Productions.com, we got RockyTopPools.com, RockyTopExcavation.com, and then we've got our Instagrams. Rocky Top EX is one of our Instagram pages, and then Rocky Top Pools. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And then I think our numbers and all that stuff's on there. I'd have to talk to Mitch, our media guy. He's a little bit more tuned in, but RockyTopProductions.com, Rocky Top Excavation, Rocky Top Pools.
Awesome. Bryce, thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it. Good time.